Hey there, everybody. It's Zach at Feel Free to Argue. Just found out this morning that one of my personal heroes, George Carlin, passed away last night. Though, of course, George Carlin would be pretty mad at me for saying passed away. I should just say that he died. And that's one of the things I wanted to come on here and talk about, because George Carlin, the reason why he's such an enormous hero to me, is because he's one of the few people who's been talking about the way that our language is basically being ripped apart because of the fact that we don't like to face facts, because corporate influence is kind of dumbing down and taking all the richness and beauty out of our language and the precision. And he also kind of lamented, all old descriptive words which worked perfectly well and which, for whatever reason we wanted to get rid of. But more than anything, I want to praise George Carlin because he started out as like the world's smartest hippie and then kept getting smarter. Through the course of his life, he had many ups and downs, made some pretty bad movies. But more and more as he went through his career, he struck me as being like Lenny Bruce, someone who started out being a comedian and ended up being more of just kind of a compulsive truth teller. And at no point do I think that he was stronger than when he did the routine, which is favorited right on the front page of my website. If you haven't seen it before, you should go see it. It's about him talking about the American dream. And I think Carlin really got it. Carlin got it in a way that almost no one in America gets it. He understood the relationship between language and how we feel like we no longer have any control over our country. And more than anything, I know on certain level, a lot of the stuff that Carlin did at the end of his career was just him being a crotchety old man who didn't like, anything changing, in which case makes it a very typical crotchety old man, that railing about things like, recumbent bicycles and stuff like that, which really don't harm anybody. And, but I mean, I thought those things were just as wonderful as anything. I liked the kind of misanthropic aspect of George Carlin as well, because it was part of what made him him, and the fact that he had no tolerance for any bullshit, including, bullshit that was essentially harmless. He just hated all bullshit. And I think there are worse things in the world than someone who absolutely hates all bullshit. So, I guess all I'm saying here is I'm going to miss the hell out of George Carlin's social commentary, his political commentary. I'm just going to miss the hell out of George Carlin. He's a great mind, and we are all poorer for not having his take on things anymore.